Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, and as always for these DC TV shows, I'm joined with Connor.
Hey everyone.
We're going to talk about The Flash, Season 2, Episode 11, titled kind of, I don't know, garishly, but you know, it's the truth. The Reverse Flash returns.
Nice and obvious. There's no getting around what this episode's about.
There's no ambiguity whatsoever with this one. So, yeah, as always, full spoilers for the episode we're talking about. And let's get into it. This was a good episode. I enjoyed the episode, particularly the Barry and Patty stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoyed. We'd been saying all along that she was going to figure it out, and I'm really glad she did.
Definitely. I feel like it would have been insulting to her if she hadn't.
It was kind of heartbreaking, her actually saying, admit you're the Flash and I'll stay. Because we were obviously, I'm pretty sure you were sitting going, much like I was,
Just
say
tell
it,
her.
Barry.
Just say it.
Say it.
Yeah.
This putting people in danger malarkey that every superhero likes to do at some point when they've got a secret identity.
Fucking bollocks.
It is bollocks. But I thought the scene at the end on the train was very well done. I knew it was a trick as soon as she called.
Yeah, it was really obvious.
Barry's a bit of an idiot for falling for it, but I mean, what's he going to do?
Too busy panicking. He can't take the risk, can he?
Yeah, because even if he assumes it is a trick, what's he going to do? Let her die, and then oh shit, she died. Oh well, my bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, that was nice. They stopped vibrating, and she's seen his face. I thought it was a nice moment, even though she's still leaving. I imagine not for very long.
I really hope not.
I don't think it'll be long. I think she'll be out for 2 episodes, maybe 3 tops, and then there'll be a reason that she's back.
Good.
I still think she's dying at the end of the season, though.
I really hope not. I don't want that to happen. It'll be tough to watch.
Now, the other stuff, I actually enjoyed a lot of the character stuff that came out of the main plot, and by the main plot I mean the time travel stuff. However,
Should we talk about the actual time travel?
yes, I really want to talk about this show's rules when it comes to time travel, or I should say, the lack of rules.
Do you know what? I saw someone explain it really nicely, way better than Harry did.
Right, okay, hit me with this.
So they said, imagine time is a rope. Now the singularity at the end of season 1 is a fire. When Eddie shot himself, he started a fire, that singularity, at the middle of the rope, and it started burning in both directions. Now they put out the fire really quickly and then tied it back together. So that middle bit where they are in the present is all kind of fucked, but the rest of it is still intact, which is why Barry's mum's still dead on one side and Thorne still exists in the future.
Okay, I understand it better. I don't know if it necessarily makes any more sense, though, from a science perspective.
Probably not, but at least it makes sense to me now.
Because I don't understand how... And obviously, I always say spoilers for this episode, but obviously it's assumed that we're doing spoilers for the whole show up until this point. So at the end of season 1, Eddie kills himself, and that makes Reverse Flash... I can't remember exactly what the effect was, but I think he disappeared or evaporated or whatever he did.
Something like that.
He died. Anyway, he was gone. That's the point. I don't understand, if it works like they're saying it does, why future Reverse Flash, just because he happens to be in the present, instantly vanishes.
Yeah, that's the only part that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because the entire reason that worked is because the idea that if Eddie shoots himself, then he wipes out the entire family tree to him, and he doesn't exist. But this episode has established that with the exception of the events just sort of around the present, as you put it, with the rope analogy,
Yeah.
all that stuff's still there.
Yeah, everything's intact apart from that bit that's fucked.
Science, complete bullshit, right? I was sort of scratching my head and going, and obviously time travel can never make complete sense, and time travel's not a thing that actually exists. But other things, they mentioned the phrase Back to the Future like 3 times in this. Back to the Future's rules were pretty well done, I thought.
Most time travel has pretty established rules.
Yeah, this one feels a bit more wacky.
Yeah.
This one's more Doctor Who, but it may actually be worse than Doctor Who.
Oh, it's definitely worse than Doctor Who.
Now that said, I actually really like that we're getting Reverse Flash as Thawne himself. And I also really like that we're getting all these other parts of their rivalry from different time spans that we've not seen. And I like the dynamic of that. I like what it does to Barry's character and learning all this stuff.
I really like the idea that when we saw Thorne as Wells, that was at the end of his timeline, essentially. And now we're at his first meeting with Barry, like almost.
And it's funny, because we mentioned Doctor Who, and I'll stay away from spoilers, but it's kind of like River in Doctor Who and how you see her at different parts of her timeline.
Yeah, well, they start with it at like pretty much
the middle or the end. Yeah.
I think it's pretty much the end, and then it kind of every time they meet, it's at a different point.
Yeah, so I can see them having fun with that, and I do like that. I like that the Reverse Flash, since he is technically meant to be the Nemesis, that he is going to be a presence around in some way, always. That is all good stuff. I like everything that comes out of this episode in terms of what it's set up with this time stuff. But the time thing itself is bollocks.
It's a bit of a mess. Yeah
it's bollocks.
It is.
But I'm
going to give it a pass.
That said, though, because it's time travel, I can live with it. What I still can't live with from the start of this season is freezing a laser. And actually having a line of like frozen laser appearing where the line was. It's light. Right, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What did you think of all the West family shenanigans?
Easily the weakest part. Did not care. I just didn't care.
Yes, I'm kind of there. It didn't bother me though, and the reason was because I feel like this is just a necessary beat that we need to have because we know she's dying.
It is, but I just feel like the show didn't earn this with a mum. Like,
yeah, I know.
That's my problem with it.
Admittedly, I don't think they spent too much time on it though. I felt like they spent as little as they could have probably.
Yeah. I know it had to happen.
And I think the important thing that'll come out of this is the fact that Wally will feel a bit more connected to Iris and maybe Joe as well.
Yeah.
That keeps him around. It gives him a connection because he needs to be...
It's the sort of thing where I know they have to do it and it'll probably lead to better things in the future, but I still can't be asked watching it.
Yeah. I get you. So overall, episode was good. The one last sort of plot thread that we have to... Actually, I want to mention one more thing about Reverse Flash. I loved that Cisco just flat out asked him, where did you get your ring from? And all that.
Yeah, he wants to know how to make it.
And then it infuriated me that he didn't say, because I really wanted to know. Yeah. It was interesting stuff. And obviously Cisco's powers expanding, and they made him like the visor thing so he can do it properly. And that's good. I actually really laughed out loud when he's like, I can see it in the future. I'm naming those goggles right now. Like, I thought it was really funny because it's his thing. But the last plot thread we're going to talk about is looking for Jay Garrick's doppelganger.
Yeah, thought we'd get to this.
Yeah, on Earth 1. And he reveals that because his parents on this Earth, something different happened, and it was named differently. And he
got adopted.
He took his adopted parents' names and all that. So that's why there's no Jay Garrick, but there is a version of him, and he's got a different name. The name is Hunter Zolomon. Now, this is a really odd place in this show. Usually, we say spoiler warning at the start of the episode, and then that's fine. If you watch the episode, you're fine. This is an exception to this, where I'm going to say that if you do not know the Flash comics, if you do not know the name Hunter Zolomon, and don't want that spoiled for you, I would vastly recommend that this is where you end watching this or listening to this.
Yep, I definitely agree with that.
Because we're going to talk about what the name Hunter Zolomon actually means to us, knowing the comics, and what this might mean for the season going forward, because it does mean something.
Some big implications.
There is. So much to the point where I actually googled the name after the episode just to make sure it was who I thought it was. Because my memory was a bit hazy. I was like, wait a minute.
I'm
pretty
90%
sure that's
certain that's yeah. And then it's like, yep, yeah, it is.
Right. So I'm giving you a warning here. If you're not familiar with the comics and you do not want to know more about who Hunter Zolomon is before they reveal it in the show, and this is why I specifically left this to the end to talk about. Yeah. So you could listen to the rest of the review and hear what we have to say. Blah 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 blah. Good episode. Science stuff's a bit wobbly, but I like everything that comes out of it, and I really like the Patty stuff. Hope she comes back soon.
And a lot of fun again.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I liked Him taking all the tires off the gas tanker.
That's nice.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, if you don't want the spoilers for Hunter Zolomon, that's the end of the review for you.
We'll see you next week.
If you do not care, or you are familiar with the comics and Flash stuff, Hunter Zolomon in the comics is Zoom.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when they set up the mystery of Zoom and they didn't say who it was, we all started speculating Earth 2 Barry, Earth 2 Joe.
It's got to be someone that we know, because otherwise there's no point in hiding the reveal this long.
But here's where it gets weird then. Because if Hunter Zolomon that we have just been introduced to, as in the comics, is Zoom, right? I said, I don't know, is Hunter Zolomon in the comics meant to be like Jay Garrick of our Earth?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
as far as I know.
I've never heard that. If that's completely new, it's a cool little twist.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, that's a new part.
But so if this is the reverse, or not reverse Flash, Zoom. If this is Zoom, right? If this is Hunter Zolomon as Zoom, and that's what he's called in the comics, so it would make sense that it is. That would mean that Zoom's from Earth 1. Which opens an interesting little can of worms. Like, so Zoom already went over.
Yeah.
To the other side.
I just want to note something in terms of how we're saying that's his name and that's where it makes sense.
Yeah.
Abud Thawne in the comics is not Reverse Flash, he's Professor Zoom.
Right.
So they've already taken some liberties on the show where they took Thawne and made him into Reverse Flash rather than Professor Zoom. So they might not go...
Wait a minute.
Abud Thawne is...
I'm sure Abud Thawne was Reverse Flash at some point in the comics as well.
I think they probably all were at some point, but I'm pretty sure generally...
So who is normally Reverse Flash?
I'm losing track.
If it's not thought, because it's not Zolomon. Zolomon's not Reverse. I'm pretty sure Zolomon's always been Zoom.
See, Zolomon's always been Zoom. Yeah.
Right. Are you sure that Professor Zoom and Reverse Flash just aren't interchangeable? Because I'm pretty sure he's always been Reverse Flash. I'm pretty sure Abud Thawne has always been Reverse Flash.
I'm looking at the wiki.
Not counting like New 52 bollocks.
I'm looking at the wiki. It says on Abud Thawne, current alias Professor Zoom. Now, if I look at
the wiki for Reverse Flash and see what we get. Because
if
it's not either of them, then who the fuck is it? I don't remember another one.
And then the current alias of Hunter Zolomon is just Zoom, but both of them have aliases that say Reverse Flash. So they've both gone by Reverse Flash as well.
Alright, so they didn't take any liberties then with Thawne, because he is one of the Reverse Flashes.
Yeah.
Right, so you were wrong in that part.
Well, only kind of.
No, but no, because I was thinking, no, that was the right thing, and it is the right thing. It's just that, yeah, one's also been called Zoom, one's been called Professor Zoom, but they've both went by Reverse Flash at some point. Well, it's worth noting here that in the comics they have the same outfit.
Yeah.
Right, because so it actually makes sense that they've both been called Reverse Flash. It actually makes a lot of sense. What they've done in the show is make them more distinct, so it's not confusing. And this is exactly why.
This can get confusing.
Yeah, this is exactly the reason for this. Because idiots like us sit here and talk about it and get confused.
And we read this stuff.
Yeah.
I imagine if you didn't know any of this stuff, this would be even more confusing.
Yeah. So I actually think they've done quite a good job there then in keeping them separate and making it clear that, one's Reverse Flash, one is Zoom. Yeah, that's it.
So do we think that Earth 1 Hunter Zolomon is Zoom as we've seen the threat previously in the season?
I'm of two minds about it. On the one hand, I feel like this is a good red herring. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking, yeah, but it's only a red herring for people who know the comics. For people who, they're just watching the show and don't know any of this stuff, to them this is just Earth 1 Jay Garrick. And for them it may be a cool twist that's Zoom.
Yeah. That's the problem. I don't know which way they're going either. It could go either side.
It could. And if it isn't him, then I'll go back to all my previous theories about Earth 2 Barry, Earth 2 Joe, and so on. Do you know what I thought he was going to do, actually? See when he said, come see me tomorrow? I thought what he was going to show was like a photo of like Jay Garrick on Earth 1, but he was alive during like World War Two, because he's like the Golden Age Flash.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be like a little nod to the fact that he's Golden Age.
I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a gravestone.
Yeah,
but like for the same reasons.
Yeah, I thought you'd maybe see him like in like like with a World War Two helmet on and or something. Yeah. That's what I was sort of thinking they were going with it. This is way more interesting.
Oh, definitely.
I'm down with this. So this is pretty cool. It's a really interesting development. Although I did notice something weird. There was no post-credit scene this week.
Yeah, I think it almost treated. What happened at the very end? Was it
the train thing was
the last
thing?
Was the last thing. It kind of treated that as the ending.
Yeah, like, but it went. What they should have done was had that, went to the title, and then had the scene in the park. Maybe. Oh, well, maybe it wouldn't be shocking enough for people who don't know who it is.
Yeah, this is the first time in a long time we haven't had one.
It might be the first. Yeah. Because it was really weird. It went straight to the credits. I'm like, wait a minute, there's always a scene after the title at the end.
Yeah, I was really confused as well. I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah, it's really weird. But no, good stuff. Yeah, I mean, some issues. The West family stuff's just kind of whatever. Science of the time travels, bollocks. But otherwise, raised some really interesting things, set up some good character stuff going forward. The whole overarching arch nemesis thing was really cool. And of course, the Hunter's Almond bombshell, if you will. Bombshell, if you know what it is.
It's a pretty big bombshell, let's be honest.
So, yeah, that's been The Flash this week, so naturally. This is only night 2 of DC this week. We have 4 nights in a row of DC shows. This is pretty good stuff. Of course, the depressing thing about the end of The Flash is that it means the next one's Arrow.
But we've got a Legends of Tomorrow pick-me-up coming the next day.
We do. See, this is the great thing. I mean, 3 out of 4 of these shows being good isn't too shabby, actually, when you think about it.
It's pretty good odds.
It's pretty good. I mean, I suppose if we include Gotham, but it's not really... Like, it's so separate. Even though Supergirl's separate from the CW stuff...
It's a similar tone to, Flash.
Gotham is just so far gone that it's like, I don't even care. But we don't force ourselves to watch that. We do force ourselves to watch Arrow. Because it's relevant.
Because Arrow has consequences for the other shows, whereas Gotham we can safely ignore.
Alright guys, that's been The Flash this week, and we'll see you next time.